Today we are bringing you a video review of the brand new CZ515. This is a lever release rifle chambered in 22 Magnum, though they are also available in 22 LR. As you can see for this type of firearm, the gun ejects the fire case automatically and then locks itself open, requiring the user to then operate a lever to release the bolt forward and change to the next round. This is called a lever release rifle.
Shoot in low, mate. Still low. Yep. Low left.
The firearm comes fitted with a detachable 10-round magazine, is blowback operated with an easy to operate lever, and traditional crossbolt safety. We found the lever very easy to use, allowing for fairly quick and, more importantly, accurate shooting. As you do not have to break position to work the action, it allows you to easily maintain sight picture as you reload. This helps improve your situational awareness in hunting situation and greatly assist with rapid follow-up shots at distance. We conducted accuracy testing at 100 meters using 3 different common and affordable ranges of ammo. The first was Winchester with a 30 grain VMAX projectile, the second was Hornady with a 30 grain VMAX projectile, and the last was CCI Maximags using a 40 grain jacketed hollow point. All of these cartridges offer excellent terminal ballistic performance in small game, from rabbits up to small feral dogs. With the Winchester offering, we were able to achieve 5 round groups a touch over 2 MOA. With the Hornady, we were able to achieve 5 round groups at a touch under 2 MOA. And using the firearm, we experienced a handful of malfunctions. The first jam was caused by user error. As you can see in the video, the shooter did not fully depress the lever, but then pulled the trigger. This caused the hammer to drop within the firearm. The shooter, then realizing the bolt was not forward, correctly operated the release lever. However, the hammer was already forward, and thus the firearm needed to be racked to enable the hammer to be recocked and the round to be fired. The second malfunction we experienced was induced by a bad round of ammunition. As you can see here, the firing pin made a good strike across the base of the primer, but the cartridge failed to ignite. This is the fundamental flaw of rimfire cartridges, and certainly indicates no fault with the firearm. When the round was reloaded with the rim in a slightly different position, it was able to be fired successfully. The last malfunctions we experienced occurred exclusively with the CCI Maximags. In this case, the action would cycle to the rear, and it seems to us the bolt handle would marginally rotate and hang up on its locking slot in the receiver. Then the shooter would operate the release lever to no effect. As will be shown later, the release lever has a trip mechanism and cannot be actuated more than once per cycle without being manually reset. This means then that the bolt ends up hung up at the rear of the receiver, and the trip lever has to be reset to enable it to be actuated again. To reset the release mechanism, the user simply has to lift the release lever up until there is a slight click. Depressing the lever will then allow the bolt to go forward. We strongly suspect that a simple chamfer applied with a file to the square edges of the bolt handle would be sufficient to prevent this from occurring. However, as it only seems to occur with the CCI Maximags, which aren't the most accurate ammunition for this firearm, the owner has decided to leave it alone for now. We were able to replicate this malfunction on the bench by simply ringing the charging handle to the rear and applying the rotational torque to it and then letting it go forward. Another potential solution could be to increase the stiffness of the recoil spring. Given that this issue is in our view likely to be resolved by CZ in short order, and if not, easily resolved by the user, and only occurs with a limited range of ammunition, it is not a deal breaker for this rifle.
You do want 120 feet per second.
To take down the firearm is a fairly simple procedure. You simply need to remove with a flathead screwdriver a bolt holding in the forend. Once this is done, it provides access to the takedown pin at the front of the receiver. This pin is the only thing holding the upper receiver to the lower receiver. Once it is removed, it is a simple matter of sliding the upper receiver off the firearm. You have to remove the charging handle as you do so, as the bolt is locked into the lower receiver. Once this is done, the upper receiver will be off the firearm and the bolt comes free, allowing access to the internal components. Now here you can see how the release lever I was talking about earlier has a trip mechanism that only allows it to operate once without being manually reset. Reassembly is a simple procedure. Initially the user has to insert the recoil spring that was removed in the takedown, place the bolt in the lower receiver within its rails so it is housed properly, then simply slide on the upper receiver reinsert the charging handle, insert the takedown pin, then place the forend on the firearm, then screw the flathead screw back in to retain the forend. In summary though, we believe the CZ515 represents an impressive addition to the current lever release rifles available to the Australian shooter. Well, thanks for listening. If you like this review, give us a like and subscribe. We hope to have more videos out in the near future covering more new and interesting firearms.